Okay, so did they actually say they want to start deporting US citizens? Yeah, they did. Not all US citizens, of course, just the ones they don't like, the ones they think are a threat, the ones who disagree with them politically, the ones with dual citizenship, the ones who protest, the ones who speak up. Here's the thing. They know they can't legally deport natural born US citizens. That's not allowed. But what they can do and what they're already talking about is stripping people of their citizenship first and then deporting them. And honestly, that should scare everybody because once you open that door, once you start saying, well, this person isn't a real American, you can stretch that logic to include whoever you want. It starts with illegals, then it moves to immigrants with green cards, then naturalized citizens, then dual citizens, and then suddenly you're saying, well, if you don't agree with us, maybe you shouldn't be here either. It's not a slippery slope, it's the whole plan. And I get it. Some people hear this and go, oh, that'll never happen here. But if you look at what's already being said out loud on national TV, at campaign rallies by people who are actually in power or trying to be, you realize they're not joking. They're testing the waters. So yeah, when someone says they want to start deporting citizens, believe them the first time.
Wait, did the Trump administration just say they might deport US citizens to El Salvador? And not undocumented immigrants, but actual Americans? Well, that's definitely true. And people are absolutely losing it online, from shock to outrage to pure disbelief. Let's talk about it. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to Trending Pulse Worldwide, where we break down the most jaw-dropping and trending stories from across the internet. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming through. I appreciate you more than you know. And if you're new here, my name is Amy, and you're in the right place for the real conversations. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the family. So, in Donald Trump's administration, there's talk of deporting even US citizens if they're suspected of having gang ties. And when I say talk, I mean policy is already being drafted and enforced in some areas. So let's check out what Americans are saying. And yeah, people are heated. Then I'll be back and can talk about it.
You're referring to the president's idea for American citizens to potentially be deported.
When condescending Caroline confirms that he's been floating the idea of deporting U.S. citizens, does she not know that that is 100% illegal? Hey, Caroline and President Trump, people are scared, and rightfully so. The Constitution doesn't allow it. You can't kick someone out of their own country, especially to a foreign prison. That falls under cruel and unusual punishment. Even if someone commits a crime, being a citizen means this is still their country. You can't just send them elsewhere just because another president wants them.
Girl, why knows he said that Donald Trump is trying to deport American citizens? Where he gonna send us? No, seriously, like, where are you gonna send American citizens that were born here? Who is gonna take us? So they said it's gonna be like the hardened criminals, like the repeat offenders, the I guess like aggressive criminals. I'm so confused. Like, I think there's not enough stuff going on at the White House because he just coming up with anything. Because if you deport a criminal that came from another country, that's their original country. But if you're going to deport a criminal from America, who is going to openly say, okay, we'll take your troublesome people and bring them to our country? I don't know. I don't know a lot about politics. I really don't, but it just don't make sense. Like, what?
Well, I told y'all this was going to happen, but the White House recently announced that they are in fact going to deport U.S. citizens to a prison in El Salvador. And they are assuring us that it is just the very, very violent, worst criminals ever. But if it's anything like what we've seen them do with migrants, is there going to be due process? Are we going to even know if people are picked up? Are they going to be able to contact lawyers and their family? Because I know they are this close to considering political dissenters criminals. And then that prison will be used for dissenters and anybody else that they find to be a threat to the administration. Those will now be the dangerous criminals, because those are the people they want to make sure disappear. The people that know too much. The people that say too much. And that is why the leading researcher on fascism has already left the country. It's official. U.S. citizens will be sold to El Salvador.
Did you know that literally the only inalienable right that we have as U.S. citizens is the right to not be deported? Now, we have other rights like the right to vote, but it's not inalienable. It can be taken away, and plus you have to be 18 to vote. We have the right to bear arms, but certain criteria need to be met, and children can't bear arms. So literally, the only inalienable right that we have is the right to not be deported, and that's about to be taken away. The Supreme Court has ruled that the United States can deport people who are not from El Salvador to El Salvador with no due process. So no due process means they don't go before a judge, which means that a U.S. citizen could very easily be deported. In addition, the Supreme Court has not really made the United States do any action to get people from El Salvador who have been wrongly deported. So at this point, a U.S. citizen could be deported to El Salvador and have no hope of ever returning.
American citizens to El Salvador. Granted, he would need to find a legal loophole, which would be easy to do when you've got the Supreme Court in your pocket and a majority in the House and Senate. And also he has no qualms with undermining the Constitution. And right now it would just be incarcerated American citizens. So you might be thinking, well, that's not going to affect me then because I'm not incarcerated. Stop and think that through for a second. If he found a way to deport American citizens who are incarcerated legally, all he'd have to do is arrest people, put them in prison, and then deport them to El Salvador. You think he's not going to find a way to arrest people he doesn't like? People who disagree with him? People who protest too loud? They say they are the most transparent administration in U.S. history. And you know what? I agree with them. They are not even trying to hide the fact that they are fascists.
So now, being born in America doesn't even protect you. And honestly, this has crossed a line for a lot of people. We have seen harsh immigration policies before. But deporting citizens, that's not immigration enforcement. That's something else entirely. And it raises question about how easily someone's citizenship can be undermined just based on where they live, their background, or even who they're related to. And let's not ignore the racial undertones here. You see, most of the people affected, they're from black and brown communities. It's giving targeted discrimination, not national security. And what does this mean for constitutional rights, due process, identity as an American? It's like the goalpost for what makes you American enough. Keep moving. So let me ask you, where do we draw the line when citizenship isn't enough to protect you? What does that say about the future of this country? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is bigger than politics. It's about who gets to belong. And if this video got you thinking, go ahead and like, share, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss in the next story. This conversation is only getting deeper. So guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.